It started out as our baby with just nothing more than an idea, and a lot of people having faith that it could be done, even though there's a lot of people that were saying you simply can't do this.
We went to the Game Developers Conference last year and heard nothing but negative thoughts about what was going on with full motion video. Full motion video was dead. It's not dead, and it's back stronger than ever because we've changed the way it worked.
We looked at the different types of games out there. There were basically the click a mouse and show a picture, show a video, and then the other end of the spectrum that we saw was the virtual reality, the Doom. And we realized that people wanted the real high quality of the show a picture or play a video type mode, but they also wanted the interactivity of the Doom. Maybe we could solve that problem.
This magic is real.
Temüjin really provided us with fantastic background, really dynamic characters, and a really interesting story that most people aren't going to expect to find off the shelf.
The story is based on the life of Genghis Khan, the Mongolian conqueror. We have suggested that he may have had a supernatural power helping him. In the Capricorn collection, one of these artifacts is actually the repository for the evil force behind Khan, and the story involves certain individuals manipulating it to their own ends. Where Khan conquered his known world, they're going after the entire planet.
The Khan will rise into a world unknown.
Sheer beauty of the image is so much greater than any other game that's out there right now. It will draw the player into the experience in a way I don't think that they're used to.
Because we were creating a 360-degree environment, everything had to match depending on where you were looking. If you turned to another angle, which was probably shot at some other time, the lighting had to be seamless. Things had to be constantly in focus and remain perfectly constant.
We also try to reenact what a player would do if they had the chance to go through that room. Really had to start out with leveling the camera within 0.2 degrees and trying to keep the camera height around 5'6" to be closest to what a person's height would be.
We were constantly pushing the edge of the envelope in terms of production. For example, matching up a camera shot facing one direction with another shot facing 90 degrees in this direction, and that had to be exactly 90 degrees, and the camera had to be exactly level.
We wanted to use the highest production values possible for this game, and so we shot on 35mm film. It gave us a richness that we were able to keep as the film was transferred to videotape and then encoded as MPEG.
There's just no way you can go halfway with 360 degrees of navigation. You have to build in all the details that the gaming community is expecting. Everything that they're used to in graphics, we had to create in the real world.
Someone was talking with a friend in California about scenery and shooting 360-degree sets. And the guy was quiet for a minute on the phone, and he goes, "You can't do that. It's not done." There's a lot of technological things that have to happen when you design this kind of set. Just the floor surface itself is a big deal. The door openings are a big deal. They're a certain size, and the camera has to fit through.
With every room, the player had the ability to go and examine virtually every corner of those rooms, so that every object had to be as precise and true to form and correct in the context of the game and what room we're in. So it was really fascinating to be that detailed about every pitcher, every teaspoon, everything like that.
You have to really be creative in finding pieces that will work, that you can procure today, and find craftsmen who can assemble them so that the look is very rich and real. The period pieces are always very elaborate. You know, we made sure that the detail, in case it was ever seen, was there.
We wanted, if somebody got up close to a picture, we got the high quality image instead of this pixelated image we got out of some of the other gaming type environments.
We have to be able to build a model that actually looks like it's sitting in that environment without any obstructions. And most computer-generated images look computer-generated. And so our challenge was to make these look as real as possible.
We would find the actual real element first, and then we would hand it over to the graphics department, and they would do renderings of it and incorporate it into the rooms, the environments that it was in.
Everything you do is a piece of artwork, from the cursor to the bars in the bottom. The actual computer screen is the artwork. So to really understand what the screen's going to be like, how the programmer is going to position everything, sometimes we didn't know.
One of the features that's really incredible to me in this whole project was a comic book. One of the artists that worked on it was just incredible. The way she handled the creative part of producing the comic book. That in itself could probably be a spin-off on this whole project. It makes a very rich environment for a person to play in.
Even people who know anything about games will have a good time checking it out.
The role of that department, our department, was taking the huge number of assets that all the departments generated and rolling them into one cohesive game that you could pop into your computer and play. The creative and the technical have to be inseparably married. I don't think anybody fully realized when we first began the sheer extent of the size of what we were going to be working with.
We have got over 90,000 pieces right now in the puzzle. Those include, all the dramatic clips and sound bites and little things like flows and clip exits. None of this has been done before, so we're constantly pushing the technology and pushing the tool set into areas where it maybe was never intended to go.
How did you do that?
The little Scorpion M view that was developed for the book in the trunk, OCX, we placed those in the spatial video and we've animated them, so we're doing things with M views that people didn't really ever intend to do either. It's been a very creative experience.
And we had three main challenges. One, we had to deal with all the special effects. Secondly, we had to manage an enormous number of assets. And third, we had to integrate the spatial footage with the dramatic footage. And often that involved a little twisting, bending, and warping of the picture to get it to match up.
The PC environment is an absolutely hostile environment for audio, and anybody who makes video games knows the challenges of making good sounding audio on a PC. Anybody who knows audio can look behind me at what we have to work with here, what the tools we've been provided with, and know that what we end up with will be a cut above the rest.
He killed my mom!
If I thought you had any chance of telling anybody what you just heard, I'd end your sorry existence right now.
First thing that really struck me about Temüjin was the navigation. They're able to walk around in actual film footage. They're not on a set path. I'd never seen anything like that before. We had to have the testers basically explore every possible nook and cranny of the museum just to make sure nothing's going to happen that's not supposed to.
Temüjin really shows something that is not the product of just programmers or not just video production people or just graphics people. It is a collaborative environment that we are able to take the richness and the quality that each of the individual teams has to offer and put them all together.
Now that we've proven we can do it, I think this is the first in a long series of titles that SouthPeak is going to produce that are continuing to raise the bar on quality and entertainment in the gaming world. I really didn't know it could be so good.
Just play the game, okay?